Hello and welcome to What I Spend in a Week. We're off to a little bit of a late start as it's already Tuesday, November 11th, but I am off work today for the holiday, and so I figured I would get started today even though we did do some spending over the weekend. If you're new here, I'm Kathy, a wife and a mother of a toddler, and we are currently on a low spend year as we work towards paying down debt and trying to reduce our monthly expenses. So I've been making these videos on a weekly basis to hold myself accountable for our spending every single day. And I have found that it has been really motivating for me to reduce our spending and be accountable for making more mindful purchases. And I hope that you find it interesting or entertaining as well. As I mentioned, we've already done some spending this week, and that started on Sunday. My husband did some stocking up on a lot of the groceries that we need. We had been running low on frozen vegetables, so he ran out to Wegmans to buy them, and he bought quite a bit. I don't exactly know what he got, but I think he bought broccoli, green beans, and peas, 4-pound bags of each, plus some frozen fruit for our daughter for breakfast, and some for himself as well. And in total, he spent $61.40. There's probably a few other things in there that he bought, but I don't have a receipt, so I don't know exactly what it was. Plus, he went out after I went to bed, basically, and so I didn't see it when it came home. Also, while he was out, he decided to fill up his tank. He didn't need a full tank of gas because he had just bought it early last week, but he still filled it up, and so that was $34 to fill up his tank. So he probably won't need gas again until next week, but we'll see. And then finally, yesterday, he made one more purchase. He ran out to the grocery store again when he was out picking up our Azure Standard order. We paid for that last week when it shipped, and then he went and picked it up yesterday. I also went to the grocery store to buy a bag of sugar, which we needed, which we realized afterwards that we could have gotten from Azure. So once we use up this bag, then we will probably be ordering it from Azure moving forward. We really only use sugar for the kombucha that I make, so we don't go through it very quickly. Sometimes my husband will bake with it, but a lot of the times when I'm making baked goods, I don't like to use a lot of sugar because I find it's very sweet for me, and so I might use a little bit of maple syrup or molasses usually instead of just white sugar. But this bag will last us for probably a few months, maybe even a year. I know that the last bag that we bought was probably almost a year ago. But he spent $8.49 on that bag of sugar, and that is it for our grocery spending this week. So in total, we've spent $103.89 on groceries and gas this week. Hopefully we won't have any more variable spending. I did write a check for daycare, so we will probably be paying for daycare this week when that gets cashed, but we probably won't have any other expenses come out, and I will be getting paid most likely tomorrow. It usually hits on Wednesday, so I will let you know then how much income we bring in and if we spend any more this week.
Hello, it's Thursday. I got paid $3,120.03 yesterday, and you might be wondering why I didn't come on here yesterday when the lighting is better. Well, at least sometimes. Really, it's because I had a lot of work to do yesterday. So Tuesday was a holiday, and so I was off work. And even though I'm a salaried employee, we get paid hourly. And so holidays are 8-hour days, no exception. And even though I work 9.5-hour days on Tuesdays, I only got paid for 8 hours, and I'm technically not allowed to work on the holidays. So I had to make up that extra hour and a half yesterday on my normal work from home day. So I had a lot more work to do while my daughter was napping. So I didn't really have a chance to come on here, set up my camera, all that. So although I have some flexibility in my work, I just need to do 80 hours over the 2-week pay period. I can't do more than 80 hours, and I can't do less than 80 hours. If I do more, I don't get paid for it because I'm salaried and there is no overtime. And if I do less, I either have to use my vacation time, or if I don't have any, I have to work without pay. And I need to get approval to work without pay or use vacation time. So I was pretty busy yesterday, also getting ready for these last 2 days of work, sending our daughter to daycare and getting everything prepped as well. But as soon as I saw that my paycheck hit my bank account, I immediately initiated a payment towards my loan. The daycare check still hasn't been cashed yet, and so I expect that the payment towards my loan will come out maybe before the daycare check gets cashed, even. And I have like just enough money in my checking account for both of those expenses. I'll probably have like a $100 buffer or something, which is really nerve wracking for me. I like to keep more of a buffer in my checking account, but we'll see. I mean, I don't really have anything else getting drafted from there. The only thing that might come out of there are acorns roundups, and those are like never more than $6 or $7 or something. So it should be fine. And I do have a savings account linked to that checking account that only has $2,000 in it, but it does act as a like buffer for any kind of overdraft. Although I've never overdrafted before, so I have no idea what would happen if I did spend more than what's in my checking account right now. So that is about it for me today. And I mean, we're not expecting any more expenses, so I guess I'll definitely do a recap at the end of the week, maybe Friday or Saturday. But if anything else comes up, then I will share that with you. But for now, that's everything. Hello, it's Friday. So excited for this week to be over. I don't know, it just felt like such a long week, even though it was actually shorter because of the holiday in the middle. But anyway, we had more spending. Daycare came out. So, of course, I have like $155 in my checking account. But it's fine because nothing else is going to be coming out for a little while or so, I hope. So, for a recap of our spending this month, as I said, this week for variable spending, we spent $103.89. So for the month, we're up to $363.93, which I think is more than we spent last week, or pretty close. Yeah, I think last month we spent $430. And then I had the one transfer yesterday. So on top of the transfer last week and the acorns roundups and transfers, we're at $6,386.48 for transfers out to savings and extra debt. And then our fixed expenses, after adding in daycare of $1,180, we are at $3,856.54 for our fixed expenses. But with my paycheck on Wednesday, we are at $5,787.82 for income. And so that covers our fixed expenses plus our spending, but not quite with all of those transfers in there. But again, if we go over in our transfers, it's because it's pulling from the savings that were specifically marked for those transfers to extra debt payments. But that is everything for me this week. Hope you all had a great week. I hope you all have a great weekend. And If you're interested in seeing more of our family's journey as we work towards paying down debt and reducing our monthly expenses, then I would love to have you subscribe and follow along. Thank you for being here.